"You're coming with me." The words were not a question. They were a statement of fact, heavy, unmovable, final. Red dust clung to the dry road and to everything that stood upon it. The cracked leather of Abel's boots, the flanks of his steady horse, and the pale, exposed skin of the woman trembling in the brutal afternoon sun. She stood barefoot at the edge of a stranger's land, stripped of everything but her shame. Behind her waited 3 men beside a wagon, her late husband's kin, the Graysons. Their faces carried the smug satisfaction of men who believed the world existed to obey them. They had already taken her farm, her animals, her name, and now with one final cruel act they had taken even her clothes, leaving her as a warning to any woman who dared believe she could survive without them. "She's Grayson property owed to us," the oldest Grayson sneered, spitting into the dirt. "You've no business here, Abel." Abel didn't look at him. His gaze stayed on the woman, the way her shoulders shook, the way her eyes fixed on the horizon as if refusing to acknowledge any man standing before her. He swung down from his horse in one smooth motion, untied a thick wool blanket, walked toward her. He wrapped it around her carefully, no rush, no possessiveness. His hands never touched her skin. Then he turned to the men. "Get off my land." They rode in silence beneath a vast, indifferent sky. She sat huddled in front of him, the blanket rough but comforting. Behind her, Abel was solid and unmoving, a presence that demanded nothing. The horse's steady gait became her anchor. Leather creaked, hooves struck dry earth. With every mile, the life she had known fell farther behind her. The house where she had buried her husband, the land she had tried to save, the final humiliation that still burned beneath her skin. Abel said nothing, no questions, no reassurances. His silence was not cold, it was shelter. As the sun sank, the sky bled into orange and crimson. In the distance, a single lantern flickered the life in a valley below, a destination not chosen. Fear stirred again. The ranch rested in a small, protected valley, modest and unadorned. House, barn, fences, everything built with effort and intention. Abel slid from the saddle and lifted her down when her legs failed. His hands were firm, steady, and immediately gone. Inside, the house was clean and spare, a stone fireplace, handmade furniture worn smooth with use. He pointed toward a closed door. "That room's yours. Clothes on the bed. They were my mother's." She dressed in clean cotton that smelled of soap and sunshine. When she returned, 2 plates waited on the table. They ate in silence. He didn't ask her name. She didn't offer it. That night, she slept without flinching at every sound. Days settled into a rhythm. Abel rose before dawn, worked until dark, left food without comment. She stayed inside at first, moving like a ghost through the house. Everything had purpose, nothing wasted. In her room, she found a small wooden box. Inside, a faded photograph, carved wooden birds, and a chipped porcelain teacup with a broken handle. Cracked, still beautiful. One afternoon, she stepped onto the porch. Abel was mending fence in the distance. His hammer slowed, just for a moment. He saw her and let the moment pass. A dark speck appeared on the eastern ridge, a rider. Her stomach tightened. The Graysons. The figure lingered for nearly an hour, watching, waiting. That night, Abel laid oilcloth on the table and began cleaning his rifle beneath the lantern. Metal clicked softly. He said nothing, but the message was clear. A storm tore through the night and an animal cried out in distress. Abel was already pulling on his boots. She followed. In the birthing pen, wind clawed at the lantern flame. A ewe struggled, the lamb trapped. "Hold this," Abel said. She held the lantern steady as he worked, hands gentle, urgent, sure. For a long moment the lamb lay still. Then it cried. Relief flooded her so fast it stole her breath. Later, by the fire, she spoke for the first time. "Thank you." He nodded. Weeks softened the silence. She tended a garden, mended his shirts, left mint water on the porch. One night she told him everything. Her husband, his death, the Graysons' cruelty, the final humiliation. Abel listened without interruption. Only his jaw tightened. When she finished, the burden felt lighter. Storm clouds bruised the sky when 3 riders crested the ridge. Abel didn't grab his rifle. Go inside. He stood alone on the porch. "She's ours," the old man sneered. "She's not," Abel replied. The younger son stepped forward. Abel moved. One strike. Final. Controlled. "Leave." They did. Rain fell hard and cleansing. Peace returned. They worked side by side. One morning, Abel found the mended teacup filled with wildflowers. He smiled. Seasons turned. 2 lives rooted together. Scars remained, but no longer defined them. On a clear morning, they stood watching the sun rise over the ridge. They had built more than a ranch. They had built a world.